The morning after a beautiful lakeside wedding, gas station surveillance video captures a man in wet clothes walking in and up to the counter. He's there not to fill up, he's there to fess up.
Our 911 center received an incoming call from a gas station attendant that said there was a young man that wanted to speak to police.
Hello?
Yes.
I'd like to report a murder, please.
A murder?
Yeah.
Okay.
The man making the shocking claim?
What is your name?
Brian Cooper.
That's right, Brian Cooper, the brother of the bride. And the woman he's calling to report murdered was his date to the wedding, 21-year-old Alisha Bromfield.
You know for sure that a murder occurred?
Yes.
Do you know if it was today that this happened?
Last night.
Brian Cooper was the expectant mother's supervisor at a major national retail store, and there's a reason he's so certain she's been killed.
Did you witness it?
Yes.
You witnessed it. Okay. Do you know where her body is?
In the room. Sand Bay Beach Resort, something like that.
Do you know who murdered her?
I did.
You did. Okay. Was it an accident, or were you angry, or?
It was intentional.
It was intentional?
No.
Okay. Well, you're doing the right thing. I'm glad you called me.
I'm a good person besides what I did last night. Alicia's family's gonna flip. Everyone's gonna flip.
Moments later, Door County Sheriff's deputies arrive at the gas station.
I see the police. Hey, right there. Don't move. You have any weapons on you? No. Okay.
36-year-old Brian Cooper is taken into custody, then down to the station. Door County Sheriff's investigator Mark Winkle learns of the bizarre 911 call and immediately heads over to the resort.
What did you see? Describe as you walk in.
When I arrived, after opening the door, I could see a female decedent in her 20s. She was laying on the floor. She was nude, but did have a blanket covering her up to about her chest, and her head was on a pillow, and obviously deceased, but it just appeared as if she was resting. A little closer examination of the body, you could see that there were injuries, bruising, scratch marks.
While the ghastly crime scene is processed, Winkle heads to the station to interview Brian Cooper.
On your way back to the ranch, to the sheriff's department, what's going on in your mind and what do you know you have to do?
Well, I know that there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle that has to be put together. I know that I have to develop a rapport with Brian Cooper, and I need to extract or get as much information as I can from him voluntarily.
Will the confessed killer continue to talk or clam up?
So what brought you up to Door County?
It was sister's wedding.
That wedding was last night?
The reception, yeah.
And who'd you come up with?
Alisha.
And how do you know Alisha?
We're co-workers and we're somewhat dating. Was. And she's pregnant.
She pregnant with your child?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always wanted more, but I always was respecting her because of her pregnancy.
Cooper tells Winkle how he and Alisha argued earlier in the day, and by the end of it, Alisha had had enough, informing him
There wasn't going to be like a friendship after we got back.
But then, was there ever much of a friendship to begin with? Reportedly, Alisha only agreed to attend the wedding because Cooper threatened to fire her if she didn't. Alisha's best friend and one-time co-worker says she believes it based on how Brian often treated Alisha at work.
It was just a lot of forcing her to do things, like go to work when she maybe had a doctor's appointment or she couldn't come in, almost demeaning who she was as a person just to make her feel bad, making her feel like this is your number one priority, you always have to be here.
There was also name-calling.
Alisha had told me he had called her a slut and a whore at work. Her boss.
But the icing on the hostile work environment cake was what Brian was actually saying about Alisha.
he's telling other people and other coworkers that this is my girlfriend and, you know, we're gonna go out on a date, and they never did.
At least not until that wedding. Cooper says after the wedding and reception, they go back to the room. That's when things take a tragic turn.
We got back to the hotel and she just went into the bed and I was drinking.
Does she fall asleep?
Yes.
And what was going through your mind when she was asleep?
The reality was setting in that there wasn't going to be even a friendship when we got back, which was today.
And you didn't want that to happen?
I didn't know.
Okay.
And I was debating what I was doing, and so I was doing some prepping and like thinking about her harming her.
Okay. So you were doing some prepping. What kind of prepping?
Well, I put some cords. I was thinking about maybe tying her up or whatever, but I didn't. So there was some cords like underneath the bed legs. There was like a cord from like a cell phone or something. I remember I got it with a plug in it. Maybe it was from my computer, or I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah,
There's like a white one and a black one.
Right. Were you thinking of tying her up or strangling her with that?
No, I was thinking of like tying her legs.
Tying her legs.
But as she was sleeping, she was moving her legs, so then I just said, that's stupid.
So when she's sleeping on the bed, where were you?
I was just pacing outside and coming inside, having a cigarette, coming back inside.
She's asleep. Were you getting more angry?
I was.
You were getting more angry?
Maybe, I wouldn't call it angry, maybe frustrated.
Frustrated?
Hurt, feeling hurt. And then I laid in bed.
And then what happened? I mean, you decided enough.
And she woke up a little bit, and then I mentioned something about, because we watch this TV show that I have on DVDs, and we were planning on doing it this coming Sunday.
Okay, so you asked her about maybe watching a show on Sunday, and what was her response? Like, there isn't going to be a Sunday
Right.
with us?
Right. And
was
that kind of triggered.
And that set the trigger.
Right.
Then what did you do?
Then I kind of just jumped on her.
Okay, was she on her back?
She was.
Okay.
And then I jumped her and she got scared.
So
I
were
got
you on
scared.
top of her then?
Yeah.
And you kind of straddled over her?
Yeah. And then I just started strangling her
With your hands?
with my hands.
And what did she do? Did she fight back?
She did fight back, and then she was yelling about the baby. They don't do it to me because of the baby.
And she bit your finger?
And she bit me finger, and then we rolled off the bed. And then where she was laying, that's where it happened.
How long do you think you choked her?
I think it happened really fast. From the bed to the floor, maybe a couple minutes.
As chilling as Cooper's confession was, it was about to get so much worse. Coming up, it didn't end with her dying.
I just wanted to, like, see her naked, I guess.
And a bombshell. Are there other victims?
Have you ever harmed anyone else?
Yes.
So after she's dead, you took her clothes off, and then she's on the floor, right?
Right.
Okay.
I just wanted to, like, see her naked, I guess.
Okay. And then did you take your clothes off, or were you already?
Yes. I just took my pants off.